How's it going, everybody? And we got good volume. Need to turn my volume down. There we go. Not the volume that I'm saying, the volume that I'm hearing. All right. Continuing on in Matthew 26, we will get to the 53rd verse today. Daniel, we are in Daniel 8. It's just so good. I love the book of Daniel. It'll be, if the Lord allows, it'll be book 4. And then Matthew would be book 5. Then we would have completed um, both end times books, commentary, and then we would have done you know what? And then I would probably do one on John because it's so amazing at election and predestination. But well, and then I would probably do Romans, and then I would do Acts. And then once you've completed all of those, you've really comprehensively covered everything, because the first book is Election Predestination, No Free Will Decisions, which is comprehensive to the entire New Testament and items of the Old. And then the End Times Made Easy covers the end times. And then, but you get into the individual books, Revelation, individual, Daniel, individual. Boom. Your end times is complete. Not that it wasn't complete with End Times Made Easy, but more comprehensive deep dives. Then to actually do the Gospel of Matthew, it's the longest of the Gospels, so it really covers the Gospels, and of course, Matthew 24 with its end times. And then to go with John, yes, it's another Gospel, but his Gospel is unique to Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And it's very powerful with election and predestination. But then to get in and do all of Romans, wow, that would just that would just be a most amazing book to cover verse by verse. And not that each verse needs commenting on. Usually you would be able to let 3 or 4 or 5 pass by and then comment as a supplication of the whole, or let the whole passage read through with a certain story and then comment on that. And lastly, you would close out with the book of Acts. And after that, you've really completed everything. And you're like, well, what about the Old Testament? You know, I think as I listen to the Old Testament, when you really understand that the Word was before anything was, and that the God of the Bible that you're listening to all throughout the Old Testament is the actor God, playing the role that the sovereign God wrote for him to play, wrote for himself to play as a cameo appearance. The sovereign God is not running around chasing the Israelites, getting mad and upset, because it's his story. He wrote that they would do the things that they did before the earth was even formed. He ordained that they would go and worship idols. that they would pass their children through the fire. So it's just, once you understand that, and then as I listen to the Old Testament while I'm eating, and the New Testament will start up. This is my second run through of listening to the Bible while I'm eating, instead of having the TV on or something on YouTube, whether it be MMA or conspiracy on YouTube. There's just, as I listen to the Old Testament, it's just fascinating to hear the story that it's a movie. It's just a story. It really happened, but it's not like I have to go through and describe anything. I might could make a book on the new covenant and get into Jeremiah, those 4 verses, and write a shorter book off of that. It would be the smallest book. But just to explain what the new covenant is versus the old covenant, that's a book. So I can see how I can just go on until I drop writing books on the Bible, until they come get me. Not funny when it happens, or just until the Lord decides to put an end to me or this earth, whichever comes first. So, and when we say earth, we mean we're living in the book of Revelation real time. Electricity's off, World War III, boom, boom, boom. No more writing books. No more doing YouTube videos. Internet down, blah, blah, blah. Internet would be back up for the abomination of desolation. This we know. But anyway, enough of that rambling on. All right, so, and he left them and went away again and prayed a 3rd time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, saith unto them, sleep on now, take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. So he's getting his knock at the door, isn't he? Rise and let us be going. Be interesting if they came and got me tomorrow, as on the eve of tomorrow. This is the story. And the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. So it sounds like they weren't even lost sheep. They're just goats. Rise and let us be going. Behold, he is at hand and doth betray me. So we're talking about Judas, of course. Guess we can highlight Judas there. He is at hand and doth betray me. So we would highlight Judas there. And while he spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves. So it sounds like big knives and little knives, swords and knives, from the chief priest and the elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. So when I go kiss him, you grab him. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, hail, master, and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, friend, because he was one of his apostles. So Jesus is going through the motions. Wherefore art thou come? Again, the King's English of the 1500s, we have to read this in, because it's the best we have. Basically, Jesus is saying, well, what are you doing here? Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and took him, and behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then Jesus said unto him, Put away your sword into its place, for all they that take the sword shall perish by the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? So, of course, we'll continue with that tomorrow. And we get into Daniel. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west, and on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came near the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran into him with fury of his power. And I saw him come close to the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and he was strong, and the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. I'm glad y'all are here. I love you very much. We'll get the rest tomorrow. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.